So I want to give you an update on the latest. These are your headlines. U.S. plan to, quote, run Venezuela clouded in confusion. There's so many questions revolving around this. As you know, Trump kidnapped Maduro and his wife over the weekend. And now we're learning that Trump may want to go into other countries. This is also your headline. Trump suggests the U.S. could take action against more countries. And we're also learning that 32 Cubans killed during U.S. operation in Venezuela, Cuban government says. Before the number we were hearing, it was 40 Venezuelans, and I think I heard Colombians were killed. There could be other nationalities involved. I was hearing that even, say, in Japan, they want to make sure that people are safe. They think they have like Toyotas operating there. I know here in Korea, President Lee was like talking about what they want to make sure their people are safe. There's going to be all kinds of things and countries involved with this stuff when you take action the way that Trump is doing. And then you have his minions. This is Katie Miller, wife of Stephen Miller. Remember, Stephen Miller is one of Trump's main people. She's tweeting out basically mustache party stuff, putting American flags on Greenland. And this is a response from Denmark, actually. This is their prime minister. Listen to this.
Listen to a lot. Threats, pressure, and condescending remarks, even from our closest allies for a generation, about wanting to take over another country and another people as if it was something you could buy and own. That has no place anywhere. We shoulder our responsibility in the world, and it is not us who will seek out conflict. But let there be no doubt, no matter what happens, we will stand firm on what is right and what is wrong.
So I just want you to see that, and I want you to know you're not alone. I want you to see that the other countries are resisting. In Denmark, I mean, this is great. These are our allies, but I guess apparently Trump wants to make an enemy of everyone. Then you have, he's meeting with Elon Musk. This is what Elon Musk is posting. Had a lovely dinner with POTUS and FLOTUS. 2026 is going to be amazing. There's Musk there, hanging out with Trump and Melania. Musk then is going to likely this year, I think he said he was all in on helping the Republicans. He's going to post a bunch of crazy nonstop nonsense promoted by all his bots on his platform and such. And then this is the kind of stuff you're going to be seeing. Rubio realizing he's going to be president of Venezuela, governor of Cuba, and Shah of Iran. And Musk says, I support this 100%. So they're talking about multiple countries, and we just kidnapped the president of Venezuela. That's why this stuff's serious. Then you have, as I showed you, a statement from Denmark. This gets more and more whacked out. Listen to what Trump says today.
Colombia is very sick too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States. And he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long.
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long.
So there will be an operation by the U.S. and
it sounds good to me.
Secretary Rubio mentioned.
You know why? Because they kill a lot of people.
Right. So they ask him, do you want another operation? He says, well, it sounds very good to me. Talking about people who are a very, very sick man. Trump always talks about himself in this stuff. I mean, the way that he accuses people of things is always confession. So Trump is a sick man. I agree. I 100% agree Trump is a sick man. This is also our news. I mean, just the few things that happen each day, like just one thing would be a scandal that in most, just to be frank with you guys, normal functioning countries would get any sitting president just removed, right? Any one of these things, but it's like the list goes on. And this is, I guess, the tankers around Venezuela are trying to run the U.S. blockade. Breaking multiple oil tankers hit by U.S. sanctions appear to be making a coordinated attempt to break the U.S. naval blockade on Venezuela's energy exports by departing all at once. I read more details of this. I think there's 16 ships. I'll just read it so you guys can understand. It says, at least 16 oil tankers hit by U.S. sanctions appear to have made an attempt to evade a major American naval blockade on Venezuela's energy exports over the last 2 days, in part by disguising their true colors or turning off their transmission signals. So they're trying to run the blockade. And the blockade itself, you could argue, is an act of war, let alone kidnapping of the president. So, I mean, we're just basically doing all these things and then pretending it's not a war, and then we're saying going to run Venezuela. I mean, it's clearly we're the bad guys here. I don't know what else to say. It's obvious. And then you ask about Trump, and he's talking about oil. You listen to this.
Meet with them before the operation took place.
Yes.
You maybe tip them off.
Before and after. And they want to go in, and they're going to do a great job for the people of Venezuela.
Right, he's talking about, I talked to the oil companies before and after. I told you before, the reporting was saying, though, companies are very, very hesitant regarding this stuff because you need to guarantee security of all the personnel, these kind of things, and then you're going to inevitably put U.S. soldiers on the ground to protect the oil interests. That's what it ends up being. And Trump is like literally talking about this stuff in public. Oh, you know, I'd been talking to the oil companies. We're going to get that oil in the ground. We're going to run Venezuela. Like, you have to put all this stuff together to make sure that you know, you understand this stuff clearly. And then you have to also understand that Trump, and that's why I showed you Elon Musk, they lead, like, again, a lot of, there's bots on there, but then you got a lot of wackos also leading just their regular MAGA base. And I'll show you what I mean. Like, this is Nick Dude. I always check on, like, what's the Nick Dude up to. So he was saying, I'll just show you the Nick Dude. This is one of their right-wing crazies. Happy New Year to everyone except the Portland Police Bureau, who arrested me for exposing them for pandering to Antifa. Right? So basically, if you don't know Nick, he and Portland's my hometown, would just walk around and try to instigate stuff with people. That's what kind of these people do. And, you know, he'll like, you barely touch the guy and he'll just like fall down and, oh, you hurt me. Like that kind of stuff. He's that kind of dude. And to show you like how whacked out he is, I wish I were making this up. He's hanging out in front of Tim Walz's house today at like 4 a.m. in the morning. See? He's like, good morning from outside the Minnesota governor's mansion at about 4 a.m. in the morning. I wish I were making it up. So, and this was also the same, this whacked out dude. It was like on New Year's Eve. He was hanging out in front of the daycare. I showed you guys in the last video. I wish I was making this up. These people are whacked out. I don't know what else to say. And I also want to make it clear, guys, the way that Trump is doing, that's why I mentioned destabilization, is having unfortunate ripple effects. And you have to also first talk about in Minnesota. Remember, there was a very serious where there was some crazy dude who shot Democrat politicians. If you guys don't remember this, in Minnesota, shot and killed, actually. I think they went to 2 houses. And then you have a situation that is just happening just a few minutes ago. I wish this stuff wasn't going on. I have no idea what to make of any of this stuff. This is in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's from local news there. It says, breaking: Cincinnati police and Secret Service agents responded to the Cincinnati home of Vice President J.D. Vance overnight. I think there was a few broken windows or something. I really don't know. That literally just happened just a couple minutes ago. This is the environment that Trump is creating, basically. Everything is destabilized, right? And you have these instigator people. That's why I showed you the Musk and his platform, and then the Nick dude who hangs out in front of people's houses at 4 a.m. or goes to daycares and stalks them. It's crazy, right? Everything is crazy right now. But you have to understand, like, look at the culture that Trump is setting.
Nation building now, is that...
This isn't a country that's on the other side of the world. This isn't a country like we have to travel 24 hours in an airplane. This is Venezuela. It's in our area. The Don Road Doctrine.
So is that what you would say, that we're in the business of nation building now?
We're in the business of having countries around us that are viable and successful, and where the oil is allowed to freely come out because that's good. It gets the prices down. That's good for our country.
See, and he's just talking about the oil again. Like, it's all about the oil. I mean, what's he gonna say? It's like, well, this isn't a country that's on the other side of the world. We're in the business of having countries around us that are viable and successful. And he's then talking about when to get the oil to freely flow. And then he's talking about running Venezuela. So that's why I have to put us all in context. There's a guy who actually made a fantastic video kind of capturing all this stuff together and the lunacy of it. Listen to this. This is Jamie Cater. Let's watch together.
In a stunning late-night operation, I had some friends of mine execute a raid on my neighbor Tom's house. He put up quite a fight, but we got through, and he's in custody. I haven't liked what he's been doing over there for a while now, so I've decided to run his house myself. He leaves his Christmas lights up too long. He never trims his avocado tree that hangs over my fence, and I believe he's running fentanyl out of there. I can't prove the last one, but it makes sense. I've seen him speak Spanish. I got rid of the wife as well. I didn't really have a problem with her, but we did do a 4th of July block party, and she brought empanadas, so better safe than sorry. I've got them at a Residence Inn a couple towns over. I've been using his home as my own little man cave. Pretty great. It turns out he has a fantastic wine cellar that I have tapped into extensively. Anyway, I'll be running his home until a time when I can have a safe, proper, and judicious turnover to some other guy. Which probably won't be happening soon. And just a heads up, I plan to take over some other neighbors' homes as well. Phil, across the street, has a pretty cool car I'd like to be in charge of. And Alex, who lives catty corner from me, has a wife who's a yoga instructor. Be taking that one soon. Again, doing it for the good of the neighborhood, so stay tuned.
And I know it's sick humor, but we all need a bit of humor these days because this is the whacked out world that we are in. I mean, it just... I go through every day with the stuff, and I always feel like I'm telling you the same thing. No, for real, he really said this, or for real, they're really doing this. Like, because it doesn't seem real because it's so insane, right? But the problem is that we're getting so desensitized to Trump's craziness. For some people, it is normal, and I always need to remind you guys, in any normal functioning country, you would remove Trump, like right away, and not even electing the guy in the first place. And that's the problem. So I have to show you, like, the Elon Musk and the way that he, pushes all this crazy crap to his, followers and such. They make it seem like, oh, guys, it's normal that we hang out in front of people's houses at 4 a.m. and like stalk them at daycare centers and crap like that, right? Do you guys see how like this is awful? And then Trump's like, oh, okay, and this is why it's terrible to set that precedent that, hey, we can just go kidnap whatever we want and then bring them into our courts in the USA, opposed to keeping it all in Venezuela, letting Venezuelan people decide. And then we talking about running other people's, countries. So that's why that one guy is like, hey, I took over my neighbor, and like they were doing, and I'm starting to eye my other neighbors. And the list goes on. Just to understand that you're not alone. Not everyone is whacked out in this world. And we need to just bring some sanity back. So that's my thoughts on this. There's no way anything that Trump is doing is sustainable. There's just no way. And that's what I'm watching for. I mean, when's this guy done? I mean, we're going to see. Please share your thoughts on this. I do appreciate your time, and I'll catch you back in the next video.